Someone is lying to you right now. Not maybe, not possibly. Statistically, someone in your life is lying to you at this exact moment. And the terrifying part is not that they are lying. The terrifying part is that you probably already feel it. Something small and nameless in your gut that you keep dismissing because you cannot prove it. That feeling is not anxiety. It is not overthinking. It is the oldest survival software on the planet. And it has been running inside every human brain for 200,000 years. Long before courts, long before contracts, long before the word trust even existed. Your ancestors had to solve the same problem you are solving right now, and they solved it so well that you inherited the solution in your own nervous system, whether you wanted it or not. This is the story of how ancient humans figured out who was safe, and why the answer changes everything you think you know about your own instincts. Picture a human, not you, a version of you from 150,000 years ago. You are standing at the edge of a watering hole somewhere in eastern Africa. You weigh maybe 60 kilograms. You have no claws, no armor. Your top running speed would not win a race against a hyena. The only reason you are alive is the 8 people standing next to you. Your group, your whole world. They share their food when you find nothing. They stay awake when you are too sick to watch for predators. They pull you back from the edge when everything goes wrong. Without them, you survive maybe a week. Alone, a human in the Pleistocene is just a slow snack. So those 8 people are everything. And that creates a problem so dangerous it could end your bloodline in a single season. Because some of those people are going to take your food and share nothing back. Some are going to tell the other group your hiding spot. Some are going to look you in the eye, say they will be there, and vanish when things get dangerous. And some, just some, will be exactly what they claim. Honest, loyal, safe to trust with your life. The entire game is figuring out which is which, before it is too late. Robert Trivers, an evolutionary biologist at Rutgers University, spent his career studying exactly this problem. His research on reciprocal altruism showed something that sounds obvious, but has massive consequences. Cooperation between people who are not family can only survive if cheaters get caught. If there is no detection system, cheaters take everything and givers go extinct. Which means your ability to read people was not a social nicety. It was a biological requirement. The humans who could not do it did not survive long enough to have children. You are here because your ancestors could. So the brain built a toolkit, and most of it runs completely below the level of thought. Start with the face. Your face has 43 muscles. A chimpanzee, your closest living relative, has significantly fewer with far less fine motor control. That seems strange. Why would evolution spend that much biological energy on your face? What survival advantage could possibly justify 43 muscles just to make expressions? The answer is involuntary communication. Signals your body broadcasts whether you choose to or not. Paul Ekman, a psychologist at the University of California, San Francisco, spent 30 years studying facial expressions across cultures. He went to isolated tribal communities in Papua New Guinea, people who had never seen a Western face, never watched television, never been exposed to Hollywood emotion, and he found the same 7 facial expressions in every single group: fear, disgust, anger, contempt, happiness, sadness, surprise, universal, hardwired, and critically, impossible to perfectly fake. Here is the specific reason why. A genuine smile activates a muscle called the orbicularis oculi. It wrinkles the outer corners of your eyes. This muscle is largely involuntary. You cannot fire it on command. A fake smile uses a different muscle entirely, one that pulls your lip corners up on cue. But the eyes stay flat. Your ancestors, watching a stranger's face across a fire, were reading that gap. The split-second mismatch between the mouth that says, "I am happy to see you," and the eyes that say something else entirely. You still do this. Every single day. You just do not know you do it. When you get a bad feeling from someone who seems perfectly friendly, when something feels off but you cannot name it, that is your brain flagging incongruence. Modern psychology calls it intuitive incongruence detection. It is not a personality quirk. It is ancient signal processing refined over hundreds of thousands of years. But the face is only the surface. Go deeper, and you find the voice. In 2014, researchers at the University of Amsterdam published a study in the Proceedings of the Royal Society B. They found that humans can accurately assess another person's trustworthiness, warmth, and status from just a few seconds of listening to their voice. No visual information at all, just sound, pitch, rhythm. The slight breathiness that enters someone's voice when they are nervous. The pace that accelerates slightly when a story is being constructed in real time rather than remembered. Think about what that meant around a fire 100,000 years ago. In total darkness, your ancestors were still reading each other, through sound alone, and the signals they were reading were costly, meaning they were hard to fake. A voice that stumbles, a story that contradicts itself on the second telling, a confidence that evaporates when questioned. These are expensive signals to suppress under pressure, and because they are expensive, they are reliable. Evolutionary biologist Amat Zahavi formalized this in 1975 as the handicap principle. Signals that cost something to produce are signals you can trust. Signals that cost nothing are signals anyone can manufacture. Your brain was built to tell the difference, and it extended this logic far beyond sound. Generosity is a costly signal. It is easy to be generous once when everyone is watching. It is almost impossible to sustain fake generosity across time, in private, when there is no immediate reward. So your ancestors watched. They noticed who shared food when they were already hungry themselves, who volunteered for the dangerous task when they could have stayed back, who showed up for someone sick even though there was nothing to gain. These were not just kind acts, they were evidence, accumulated slowly, that what a person said and what a person did were the same thing. But here is where the story turns uncomfortable. If trust detection is this sophisticated, why did liars survive at all? Why did cheaters not get weeded out of the gene pool entirely? The answer is that evolution runs an arms race with itself. For every detection mechanism the human brain developed, a small percentage of humans evolved more sophisticated ways to mimic the signals without carrying the substance. Robert Hare, a psychologist at the University of British Columbia, found that roughly 1 to 4% of every human population shows a neurologically reduced capacity for genuine empathy, while retaining, and sometimes dramatically enhancing, the surface signals of warmth, confidence, and trustworthiness. These are the people described by almost everyone who meets them as unusually charming. Magnetic. The kind of person who makes you feel like the most important person in the room. Your ancestors knew people like this existed. They did not have a clinical name for them, but they had something more powerful than a diagnosis. They had reputation systems. In a small group, nothing is truly private. Something you do when you think no one important is watching gets seen by someone. That person tells one other person. The story moves. And over time, what builds up is a picture of who you actually are. Separate from how you present yourself. Built from the small moments. The moments where you had the chance to take and you gave instead. The moments where you had the chance to leave and you stayed. Robin Dunbar, the British anthropologist at Oxford University, discovered a striking number while researching social group sizes across human history. That number is 150. It is the approximate upper limit for a human group, where every member can maintain a working knowledge of every other member's reputation, their history, their pattern. What they did the last time things got hard. Beyond 150, the system collapses. Informal accountability disappears, and cheaters, freed from reputation, thrive. That number shows up everywhere. The average size of hunter-gatherer bands throughout the archaeological record, the functional limit of military units across cultures and centuries, the average number of genuine personal relationships most humans can maintain, even today, even with thousands of followers. Your brain was built for 150 people. It still is. And that is where you are living right now, in a world of 8 billion strangers, making trust decisions in milliseconds about people you will never see again, on platforms optimized not for your safety, but for your attention. The costly signals your brain evolved to detect are almost impossible to read through a screen. A polished profile costs nothing. Followers can be purchased. Testimonials can be fabricated. The involuntary eye crinkle, the voice that hesitates at the wrong moment, the behavior under real pressure with real stakes, invisible behind glass. You are running ancient hardware in an environment it was never designed for. But one signal still transfers, one variable that cheaters have never been able to fully control: time. Consistency across time is still the most reliable trust signal that exists. Not first impressions, not charm, not how someone makes you feel in the first hour, but what they do across enough moments that a pattern becomes undeniable. The person who holds the same position when it costs them something as when it is comfortable. Who treats the person who can do nothing for them the same way they treat someone with power. Who comes back after the situation where it would have been easy and logical and no one would have blamed them for disappearing. Your ancestors built their trust on exactly this, not declarations, not charm, accumulated evidence, observed across time, in the small moments, in what someone did when they thought the stakes were low and no one was keeping score. So the next time something feels wrong with someone and you cannot explain why, stop dismissing it. Your ancestors spent 200,000 years building that alarm. They did not survive by ignoring it. Neither should you.